that's a tremendous looking trophy.
Welcome to the number one PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. My name is Dylan Blight, and joining me, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, how are we going today?
I'm absolutely fantastic.
Good to
10
hear.
out of 10. Couldn't be better, that's for sure.
Awesome. Awesome to hear.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. You know, just powering through those Kingdom Hearts. They definitely came out just like I said it would all along.
Yeah. I believe you got rid of your right to play the game after making so many jokes, but, you know, whatever.
Did I?
They took your money. They took your money still. I would have turned you down, nonetheless. If you want to hear us talk a lot about Kingdom Hearts, we did do that on last week's Arcade Couch episode, of course. And we'll be doing a review discussion, a full spoilery one in the next couple weeks or some point whenever me and Ash have both finished it and sorted out when we'll do that. So keep your eye on our socials for that, of course. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts is out. We'll talk about the trophies a little bit at the end of the show. But other than that, I hope everyone's enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, most importantly. Are you enjoying it, Ash?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Mostly.
Good. Then all's right in the world.
Fucking Gumby ships, though.
Well, apart from Gummy ships, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I'll say, they've always been bad, right? They're a little bit better, but they're still bad, is how I describe the Gummy ships in 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they are better.
I think they're a little bit better because it feels like at least
there's just
like
more.
a little bit more to do. But I feel like because there is more.
At least you could just power through.
Yeah, you can skip a lot, but for sickos who actually like the stuff, there's more to do, I guess. All right, let's dive into one of last week's biggest stories, I think, or an interesting story that will become more interesting once we see what actually comes of it. But Quantic Dream has had a majority stake acquired of it by the Chinese mega mobile giant that
Minority.
is NetEase. Yeah, minority, sorry. NetEase. So this comes from IGN. It says the official announcement states that this is to, quote, further the development and distribution of global online games. Quantic Dream will continue to operate independently under the direction of veterans David Cage and Gilmain de Fondus. I'm very, very sorry. This strategic investment aims to support the studio's vision of becoming a global multi-franchise entertainment company and to develop advanced technologies and games for the future. The article then continues to say how the global online aspect of this statement applies to Quantic Dream is currently unknown, as while its games have incorporated some online elements in the past, such as showing how many players chose specific decisions in Detroit, they are largely offline, story-based, single-player experiences. Yeah, so what do you make of this story? NetEase acquiring a majority stockholder of Quantic Dream.
Minority.
Yeah.
You keep saying majority.
Did
which is the
yeah,
opposite.
what's the new word I made up?
The
new
opposite.
word. I refuse to fix. I'm refusing to say it. Change it. New word.
Anyway, it seems an odd decision by NetEase because they're kind of known for online multiplayer stuff, and Quantic is not. So, it seems like an interesting choice. Obviously, for the first time in 12 years, they'll look to go multi-platform and be off PlayStation, which is probably best for them. They want to get the type of games they've got. I guess you need to get as big a possible player base because then they're a little bit niche. Although I'm pretty sure Detroit did pretty well last year, but I
like 3 million or something, I think.
Yeah, just interesting to see what the long-term implications are.
I don't think this changes. I don't think it's going to be on Xbox. I don't think this means like Quantic Dream is suddenly on Xbox. I think at most this means their next.
I think whatever's next will be released as well as on PlayStation.
I reckon whatever's next potentially is just PS4 plus PC.
Really?
I don't reckon it means stretching it. Yeah, because that's not what I just don't see that with NetEase. I see if anything, NetEase means they're going to make a mobile spin-off game or something that they can make heaps of money off. Some free-to-play, decision-based mobile game with
a Connor spin-off.
Yeah, we have to put microtransactions in to replay sections,
I would play that where it's like there's like small cases you have to solve.
It's a possibility. And it makes more sense with the NetEase thing because that's the thing. Yeah. We're not talking about, your Activision, THQ, Ubisoft, whatever. Quote unquote normal, I guess, publishers. So like NetEase, I just brought up a list. These are the games they put out, right? So PC games, Fantasy Westworld Journey 2, Westward Journey Online 2, Texia, Revelation, Demons, like all these big just MMO-ish money sinking things. Mobile games, Fantasy Westward Journey Mobile, Westward Journey Mobile. So these are just games with mobile strapped onto the end of them. Kung Fu Panda 3 Mobile the game, the X World and Chrono, but a bunch of other things. And then they also licenses for online games. I think Overwatch as well here. So yeah, operates Overwatch in China, so that's a big part of their thing, and that's because their whole Blizzard deal, which happened early last year, I think, or something along those. They got into line there with Blizzard, and they've got that's presumably I think they'll have a hand in that Diablo mobile game that's probably going to come out. I think I'll have to look more into that, but I believe that's probably a thing that's going to happen. So yeah, when everyone's like, "Oh, Quantic Dream, Xbox," because everyone just jumps to Xbox, presumably when people say these sorts of things. But yeah, to me, it just seems that doesn't seem to fit the NetEase. Like, why would they put money in to get it on Xbox? That's not really in their what they do. They make games that are free to play or subscription service based things.
Yeah,
that's what they help put out. So helping them put out Detroit 2, say, and having it be on Xbox as well doesn't really fit the storyline. Although them helping them make a Detroit spin-off or something, or a brand new mobile game IP that has loot boxes or fucking something. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the route I see this kind of taking. Either a new IP that's a mobile game that has monetary transactions in it, or maybe, I don't know how it would work, but maybe porting Detroit to mobile or something along those lines, and then offering the first hour as a free thing, and then you can buy chapters for money each, or something like that. All of these options make more sense to me than NetEase is helping them put it out on Xbox, which then would be weird to me also, because I'd have to wonder how, like, even though it's not a Sony first party game, I'd be like, does Sony have some money in Detroit being a PlayStation exclusive?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some sort of agreement.
Yeah, so they can't just port that over to Xbox, but maybe they could make a mobile spin-off or port it to mobile. It's more likely they could put Detroit on mobile than on Xbox or something. So
I don't know. It's interesting they say they want to be a multi-franchise entertainment company. I mean, because none of their properties really warrant a sequel, or really.
Detroit does, depending on like kind of the ending you get, I guess.
Yeah, but then how are you going to do a sequel to Detroit?
You have to pick a canon ending.
Like you have to pick a canon, which is kind of defeats the purpose of the game. But I guess Infamous 2 sort of did that, didn't it?
Infamous 2 picked a canon ending from Infamous 1 for what happened to Cole. So it's kind of what you have to do with these games often when you offer player choice, but player choice doesn't. Yeah,
if you do that, you sort of split your player base at least a little bit. Like, people are like, I'm not going to play it. They're taking away my ending. Do you think Sony's made a mistake not buying Quantic Dream?
No, not really. I don't think they're that big of a...
I've seen a couple of things, like people saying, oh, why didn't they buy Quantic Dream? But yeah, it's probably not the smartest decision. Especially
I don't think
given their culture, maybe they knew certain issues.
Yeah, well, there's that as well, of course.
Hold any.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Sony, even though they put out Detroit last year, they had a distance from that because they weren't an in-house studio.
Yeah.
You know, compared to if they actually had brought them years ago after Heavy Rain or Beyond or something, I suppose.
Yeah.
At which point then, when all that drama was happening with them and still continues to kind of happen, then it would have been blood on Sony's hands as well, I guess. So, yeah. The IGN article continues on here a little bit to say, in an interview with Variety, CEO, how do you reckon we say? Is it Guillaume de Fondemir?
Sure.
Sure. French, I presume. Said Quantic Dream's objective is to be, quote, present on all platforms where there is an audience that can enjoy our experiences. We will, of course, continue developing on PlayStation, a platform that we know very well after having worked with Sony for 12 years, but will also be present on all relevant platforms with a strong focus on in-house development. We're constantly looking for partners that complement us in the development of creation of the next generation of games, said Ethan Wang, VP of NetEase. Quantic Dream's excellence in interactive storytelling and valuable expertise it has built over the past 2 decades is exactly what we're looking for. We're very pleased to partner with Quantic Dream, and we hope to create incredible game experiences for players all over the globe. I think the other interesting thing about all these things, and the first thing that came to my mind when this has happened, is David Cage basically is kind of like Hideo Kojima. And the only line I'm drawing is that he's someone who's in games but kind of wishes he was making movies. You know, like he treats making movies as like a movie director, and he treats it that way. So when they get purchased, or not purchased, when this stuff with NetEase happened, I'm like, well, David Cage isn't going to be happy to make shitty little mobile games. You know, like there's someone who wants to tell these big epic stories and try and make the graphics as realistic as possible, motion capture big actors, Hollywood actors, sometimes in the past, you know, of course. And so, yeah, it's an interesting thing, I suppose. We'll have to see.
Such an odd pairing.
Very odd pairing. It's like, sure, of all the companies, NetEase go after.
Because, you know, the French and the Chinese, they're so tight. You know.
I hear such things, yeah. All right, now we're going to go through a whole bunch of bit more rumors, speculation stuff coming up here, but it's that time of year, everyone. Last of Us composer Gustavo Santayola, oh my god, it's that kind of episode where a bunch of people's names I can't pronounce, has hinted at Last of Us 2's release date in a concert recently, saying that the game is coming soon. So he was apparently doing a concert playing a bunch of songs from The Last of Us 1. He then said he was going to play a little bit from Last of Us 2, and then said, oh, you can look forward to checking out the game because it's coming out very soon. So I guess the question is, do you think he's just not really in the know and just thinks it must be coming soon because he's recently wrapped work on the soundtrack? Or are you going to take this and run with it and say, yes, Last of Us 2, 2019 confirmed?
It's out next week, Dylan. No, it's definitely... I think it's definitely not in the next 3-4 months. It's definitely probably next year, or whenever PS5 decides to drop. I think it's just his finished work on it, and that's... he doesn't know any better, I guess, or
yeah,
it was just trying to make people happy, or like a bit of good press. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm on the side of just presuming he thinks like he may have wrapped work.
It was just like a slip of the tongue, just you know,
coming soon. It could mean December for all we know, and that's like relatively soon. I suppose
not like
in
years
the
away.
Spectrum of things, but I suppose take that one with a grain of salt. And take these following ones as well as we talk about PS5. There has been a whole bunch of PS5 rumors come shooting through the door this last week, so let's get into them. Sony has filed a patent. Is it patented or is it patented?
Patent.
Patent. Okay. Just checking, because today, where I'm 100% fine and there's nothing wrong with me, I'm a little bit off, even though there's absolutely nothing wrong with me today.
Yeah, just English is difficult today.
More so than others. You know, not saying it's always easy, but today, more so than others. Sony has filed a patent for that has hinted at backwards compatibility coming to PS5. So this article comes from PlayStation Lifestyle. It says, by all accounts, it seems all but confirmed that the PlayStation 5 will feature backwards compatibility. A patent recently registered by Sony suggests that just how serious the company is on this feature. Not only is Sony looking into backwards compatibility with PlayStation 4, but it looks like they also want to have backwards compatibility with every PlayStation console that came before it. According to the patent, which is in Japanese, of course, this system will allow the CPU of the PS5 to interpret the inner workings of the 4 previous PlayStation systems in a way that the PS5 would essentially replicate the functions of the predecessors. This will allow programs made for these systems to run as best they can on Sony's newest console. It was designed as a way to look for potential errors in the synchronization process and promptly eliminate them. So, what do you reckon?
I mean, it's plausible.
Has been filed. You reckon it's plausible to have some super machine that can...
I mean, it's just software that I assume is able to make it seem like it's a PS1 machine or a PS2. Do you reckon this means if you put a PS1 disc, it's going to read? Or is it just stuff from your digital account more than anything else?
I reckon it's just digital account. Like, surely having a disc reader that can read all these different CD files.
Well, they're just CDs, so...
I suppose, but...
Suddenly your PS1 catalog goes up in value. Like
a couple
2%.
Copies of Final Fantasy whatevers that I still own for PS1. Yeah, I'd rather whip out the version that has trophies and looks better things, but that's okay.
What if they bring in trophies?
But you're just sticking a random PS1 game that's just added trophies to it?
Yeah.
Dylan's all of a sudden flying around to a bunch of secondhand stores.
eBay is suddenly very popular.
I get a Croc Platinum.
Do we need PS1, PS2?
That's the bigger question.
Compatibility?
That's the bigger question. This is the thing that worries me.
Isn't this what PS Now's for?
Yes. And this is what I'm saying. This is the thing that worries me. Is like they set up this PS Now thing very early in the PS4's life cycle. And Australia just still doesn't have it. And we talked about this last week, of course. They're only just getting around to kind of fixing a lot of problems by adding the ability to download games and stuff. And in my mind, when PS Now's working good and they start adding more to that catalog and it's up and running in Australia, cloud streaming games, download games, whatever, then you have on there your PS3 games, your PS2 games, your PS1 games, whatever. And you go to war with Xbox's Game Pass service, and that's where you do it. But I feel like then if you're putting a lot of effort into, if we're going the route of, you can stick your fucking PS2 discs into your PS5 or something, then it's like, well, that seems like counterproductive of having two different departments working on things that it's like, we'll just put all the effort into one of them. Like, why you don't need to fuck around on to both?
I know. People like owning something, I think, still. And being able to play for the foreseeable future, guaranteed. It's not going to get the PT treatment where it's suddenly pulled off the store and you can't play it anymore. Other licensed games at the moment are also getting pulled, that sort of thing. So, I mean, to a certain extent, it's archival, I guess. I think the digital store thing is probably the more important thing. Because people are going to be super pissed if it's PS5 comes out and they can't play all the stuff they've bought on PS4. I think that is important to consumers. It is something that they need to have in PS5.
Yeah.
And it just makes the transition easier for everybody. Like, I can
get down with the digital storefront being accessible on... That's something I would 100% get behind. Like, because that's more worrisome than, because the thing to me with physical games, right? So my PS1 games, to me, it's just my PS1 games work on my PS1, and when I get the next console, I know PS1 games work on PS2, for example, but I wouldn't have expected them to, because in my consoles throughout history, and majority
Your
of them,
Nintendo cartridge shouldn't work in a Super Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. So apart from a couple like Xboxes and your PS2 with PS1 games, and the first version of the PS3 before they got rid of the backwards compatibility part of that, most consoles throughout history are just the only games that work on it are the games designed for it, and that's fine. And I don't think that's a problem. I do think the bigger problem is what you were talking about just then, is I don't have access to all the games I brought on PS3 on my PS4. You know, that is a bigger problem to me, because that is literally a digital marketplace. And in my mind, there's no reason I shouldn't be able to play those on the next console, because it's not a physical thing. You know, it's just a digital file.
It's just code.
Yeah. So get that to work, if anything. I don't need my physical. I'd rather that. I would rather be able to boot up my PS5, have access to all the PS4 games I brought digitally and all the PS3 games I brought digitally, and that would be way cooler than being able to stick any physical previous PlayStation disc into the console and have it work to me. That's way better, because all the years of PS3 games I had and brought, I just don't. They're forgotten, really, because I don't turn on my PS3. They're just gone.
Yeah.
But there may be some random things in there that if I actually had access to them and could scroll through them in the same library, that I would be like, oh yeah, might actually do that, but I can't. So if the PS5 came out and was like, hey, here's all your PS4 digital games, here's all your PS3 digital games, that's what I would like. That's the dream, I suppose, out of this backwards compatibility question. It's backwards compatibility digitally that I'm interested in, more so than console backwards compatibility, I guess.
Yeah. Does that, in your mind, does it make digital purchases more appealing? Because then if the next generation is backwards compatible, then your games have a longer life. Like if you buy a PS3 game, it's only got like a 6-year life cycle before you can't play it anymore, unless you've just keep your PS3 constantly. You know what I mean? Whereas if you buy something on Steam, doesn't matter what computer you have, you'll still be able to play it 10, 20 years from now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is way more appealing. And I suppose the other thing is here for this argument is what I was just saying before about having, you know, in my mind, PS1 games are just tied to the console. And I'm saying that, yes, in my mind, buying something digitally, I don't associate it directly to the console like I do with a physical item. You could be like, well, it's the exact same thing, Dylan. What's the difference? I'd be like, well, it's a digital item versus a physical item. It's just a file compared to a disc it's got to read, you know? So I feel like it should just be easier to get to work. I don't know. And if we're asking what would prefer and what's more interesting, what would get our socks off a bit more, then yeah, the digital library, my entire PlayStation digital library actually being accessible to me and not getting basically lost into oblivion once the PS5 comes out and I have to start again, kind of. Because that was the thing I remember when I got my PS4, I opened up the library and I downloaded like a couple of things that I could for free because I already owned them on PS3, like Flower, Sound Shapes, and I think there might have been something else. I don't know, but you know, like a couple of games that I could just get. But other than that, I remember when I opened the PS4 for the first time, it was like that new console, literally like a new console feeling, because going into where it said, you know, games you owned, it was just empty. Whereas I'd just come off my PS3 and every time I opened up games I owned in that, it was, you know, thousands or whatever, hundreds of items in there. So I would like to open the PS5 and just be like, yeah, here's your 5,000 fucking things that you actually own across your entire Sony family. Vita included, I guess.
Yeah.
If you want to count the Vita. Yeah, which would interest you more?
Of what?
Of physical, like being able to put your physical games in, or like your digital library, which I'm more
digital library by miles, yes. Although it'd be, yeah, I know it yeah, it's just too much hassle to find all those old games, I think.
And most people want the digital future anyway, so it's just like, as you're saying about Steam, it's just more attractive.
Yeah.
Steam's not attractive, but the library is.
Yeah. Just digital games on PC is attractive.
Yes. So one last bit of PS5 potential news. Unsurprisingly, Sony seems to be ramping up its focus and move to PS5 development. So once again, story coming from PlayStation Lifestyle, who writes, to some, it may seem too far to start talking about next generation of consoles. Well, you shouldn't be listening to this show because talk about it quite often. After all, the PS5 is doing amazingly, recently reaching over 90 million units sold. However, the PS4 coming up on its 6th birthday, it's no question that the development of the PS5 slowly ramping up and as a priority for first-party studios. An analyst named Daniel Ahmed, that's the easiest fucking name we've had all episode, I think. No, hold on, David Cage. You're right. Second easiest. Who works at market research company Nico Partners, seems to have the scoop on PS5 and how SIE is approaching its development. They wrote on Reset Era in a thread and said, PS5 dev kits are out there and I've heard positive things about it, but I wouldn't expect any information in the immediate future. 2019 will be another solid year for the platform due to the large install base, growing network sales, strong third-party software, first-party software, and back catalog. Lineup for the first half of the year is set, but second half is still in flux. Sony also has a couple of unannounced games, already existing IP, with PS4 in mind, but I'm conscious that there have been discussions around making them cross-gen / next-gen titles. In general, most of the focus for Sony first parties is now on PS5 right now. It is still early to talk about next gen, but I imagine we'll hear some whispers come out of GDC. I mean, a story that makes sense, but at the same time, exciting, I think.
I mean, is this anything we didn't already know other than them actually having dev kits out? I think we all assumed that their first party was more looking towards PS5 anyway.
Yeah. Definitely an assumption. I still like to hear it because I'm on the, over here at Platinum Explosion, we are team. I'm excited about the potential of PS5 and I would like to hear more about it. And I'm actually ready for another console. So,
not financially,
any little snippet. Yeah. Any little snippet I can get is interesting. The other thing I think that stands out from that post, though, is that they have the end of year in flux, apparently, which makes me think like Last of Us, of course, if they're talking like making a cross-generational game. Ghost of Tsushima, for all we know, could actually be a lot long further than we could have thought about. Don't really know. And then, of course, you've got Death Stranding, which is obviously going to be a cross-generational game. Come on, let's be for real. Yeah, let's get it together.
The couple of unannounced games that are already existing IPs is probably the interesting thing out of that. What do you?
Well, it's like Horizon.
You would assume
surely
the Horizon sequel.
Yep,
is in the works.
The other one I was going to chuck out there was potentially, there could be a Killzone game, because I don't know if they rotated. Like did Guerrilla?
Oh yeah, they did have like a split team. I think didn't they?
I think they did
initially.
So then they could have rotated off like Frozen, the DLC for Horizon, Frozen whatever, and then everyone was all board. Like another Killzone game for all we know. And then people could be finishing up a Killzone game this year while some more people rotate back around to starting up Horizon 2.
Maybe.
Could be looking at this.
I know. Did Shadowfall do very well? Or
I don't know. I feel like the numbers would be higher than you would expect solely because it was a launch game. Yeah. So I know a lot of people got it. But then Killzone was like a big part of Sony's history. I know a lot of people don't like the franchise, but it's like it's Sony's kind of flagship FPS that remains. And even when Resistance was around, it was still Killzone was the flagship, is the thing. So they don't have one at the moment. If they're going to say that Killzone's retired, Resistance isn't. Well, of a Resistance game, yes, please. That's my preference, but I highly doubt that. That franchise is kind of never performed as well as Killzone, or critically it did okay for the most part, but like interest wise, most people liked Killzone. Hellgas look cooler. They got helmets and stuff, so that's what everyone likes. Stormtroopers, I don't know. People like villains with helmets. Is what I've come to discover.
Yeah,
not
they don't
aliens.
want to see people's faces when they kill them. So.
Yeah, that's the secret to it all. So yeah, I don't know what else it could be though. When I think about like sequels to franchises that they could put, that would make sense. Not like digging into wild crazy like Sly Cooper or Crash, something crazy. I'm like thinking realistically
maybe
what they could have.
Another GT would be the only other thing I can think of. Yeah.
Yeah. If they do another GT,
or like smaller stuff, like maybe another Astrobot. They've got like some level design or some.
Fuck! Announce Astrobot that fast. That was.
Yeah, okay, that might be a bit of a stretch, but
that'd be a very big stretch. I could go GT would make sense though because they could put out like a end of generation prologue thing, and then have the next game come out
because
for PS5.
The last one was Sport, right? It wasn't like a proper.
It wasn't a proper game though. It
wasn't a number.
No, it wasn't numbered. So they could put GT. What is it? Is it 6? I think I'm not up to date. I'm sorry. I think let's just presume it's 6. But they could put out GT6 prologue this year potentially, maybe.
Yeah.
And then put out GT6 next couple years or something like that. That could be a thing. Don't know. But yeah, if that comment holds true, be interesting to see what happens in the second half of the year. The first half, they're probably just going to chill, I suppose. A lot of people, most people buying Kingdom Hearts are probably going to be buying it on PlayStation, of course. So they're going to be pretty happy with interest, I suppose, to carry on throughout the rest of the year. And
I don't know how you could play that game on another console, to be just out to say.
Well,
without playing any of the previous games.
Yeah,
unless you bought it,
it's on Xbox,
unless you switched.
The only reason it's on Xbox is for people who switch consoles, I think.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
It's just for people who played PlayStation and then it took 13 years for the game to come out and they're playing Xboxes, so
it's been 2 generations since, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so people may have jump shipped, I think. That's why that was there. Thank you. All right. Media Molecule finally lifted the NDA and the translucent wall that was keeping all the juicy things being made in Dreams up, and made me wish I'd actually gotten access to the beta, because I was saying, oh yeah, I won't even bother asking for it because it's not like we'll be able to talk about it on the show, so what's the point? And then they lift this damn NDA and I'm like, motherfucker, I could have tried to get a code and would have been able to give it a look and actually talk about it now, but so that's a little bit annoying. I want to talk about some of the games and stuff you've potentially seen on Twitter, a video I've sent over here from Game Informer. But before I talk about that, get your overall impressions on what do you think made them finally pull up the curtain? Do you think it was always a plan that they will, keep it a secret for a while? Or do you think because of all the social media, not backlash, but I guess people giving them shit, I guess is one way to put it, of just being like, just fucking lift the NDA and help you sell your damn game. Do you reckon that's what actually led to them pulling back the curtain?
I think it was a bit of both. I think maybe they did have a certain plan. They're like, oh, if it's going well, we'll just pull it. But if people are struggling to make stuff and there was a lot of issues, I think they're like, oh no, we'll just keep quiet still until we fix some more stuff up. I mean, yeah. But yeah, the online push of people interested and also angry that they didn't get into the beta bodes well for the release, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like the amount of people I'd see responding to the tweets, like the one we talked about for what one was that for? The PT one.
Yeah.
like all the people respond to that were basically like, because one of the people that work at Media Molecule replied and said, "Hey, this is really cool, but can you take it down?" And everyone was replying to him, just being like, "Just fucking let us share and talk about this stuff. This is so cool." And a lot of people being like, "I had no interest in this game, but now I'm intrigued." So there was definitely a lot of stuff I could see on Twitter of people being like, "Oh, I suddenly get what Dreams is, kind of maybe, but I don't really get what Dreams is, but it made this, so that's cool, I guess." You know, that sort of reaction to it, especially from a game that, unless you like read the Game Informer stuff and the Game Informer article and watched a lot of their footage, I guess, or paid more attention to Media Molecule's streams about Dreams in the past 6 months or so, it's like Dreams to a lot of people is this joke because it shows up as this weird thing at Sony's conferences over the last couple of years, every now and then. And then if that's all you kind of know of it, it's like, what the fuck is this game? Even if, and then of course, maybe you got to try it out like a PAX as we did, and maybe then you get a better idea. But still, that didn't let you try out the creation tools. So a lot of people still would be like, well, how do I do anything? So the free marketing tool they had by just letting people share their creations, they were, as I said when we talked about once before, I thought they're cock blocking themselves, kind of, I guess.
No, but then to a certain extent, you wait till people have actually made some good stuff as well, and then it all hits it. You lift the NDA, it all hits at once. Whereas if they had just from the start, it would sort of trickle out, I guess.
I guess
you know
so. Maybe they played it the smartest way they could have. Just they built that Trump wall and then they knocked it down when they needed to.
Everybody loves
and they
the wall
built it in
down.
dreams. Built in dreams. Hashtag. That's what Trump needs to do.
That's the only place you'll be able to get it made.
Yeah, I was like, just get dreams, mate. Build the wall in there. Make yourself happy.
There you go. There's a game idea for you guys.
Yeah. I'm sure fucking wouldn't be surprised if someone's actually done it by this stage. But so I saw Game Informer put together a cool video with a bunch of games they had found that had been made in Dreams that were based off or recreations or video clips and all sorts of things of other games inside Dreams, which I do consider like surface level entertainment stuff when it comes to Dreams. Like it's what everyone's kind of, I reckon this is what everyone's going to do.
That's where we'll start with.
Yeah, it's like the easy go-to thing, and I'm sure people will be doing it for some time for the foreseeable future. But I can see a lot of people's like starting with, I'll try to recreate one of my favorite games or something like that, or a certain section or whatever, and then from that will spin out, and more people start trying to do their own ideas and whatever else. Not to say that I haven't seen people creating their own stuff. I've seen lots of people creating their own stuff, but I do feel like the recreation of games we know or levels or characters or music or whatever, that is the stuff that gets shared on Twitter and is easy traction. You know, that's going to be the easy stuff you can sell to people. Hey, here's PT. Hey, here's Dead Space. Hey, here's fucking something else. More so than, hey, here's this new property, blah, 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 blah. That's the stuff that isn't going to interest people as easy, even though that stuff is obviously, I think, the more cooler stuff because people actually, as the title of the game is, creating their dreams, I guess. But in the video, you watched it, right?
Yeah, I watched it.
In the video, we see Zelda, a couple Zelda recreations, a Dark Souls, not recreation, but like a video of someone creating like a map or something. Someone decided to recreate PlayStation Home for some fucking reason. I don't know, but someone did like a Metal Gear VR missions world, basic character models in that one, but it was kind of cool. It's the same as the Zelda one. There was someone that kind of did a dodgy Zelda character model, but the world looked really cool. And then there was another one they showed where the character model was basically, you could turn it off because the focus of it was designing the world, and it looked really, really pretty and really, really great. So that's what they're putting all their effort into. So
the cool thing will be someone will make a cool model of Zelda, and you'll be able to take it and put it in. Yeah,
that is the thing with Dreams, because then the credits, and you look at you play through it, and then at the credits will say character model by so and so. So yeah, that's exactly right. And that one looked really cool. There was another one where that was just floating around a field. It was a crappy character model, but the emphasis was on they recreated the Zelda music. So lots of people showing off like what their focus is in or their interest is in Dreams. And this is a thing we've been talked about before where, as you just said, people can come together. Like someone may be really good at character models, someone may be really good at fucking grass textures, some may be really good at, of course, gameplay design. No different than real world and people that actually make games. There's not one person specializing in everything. In most cases, of course, some games are actually made by one person. But then we got a Portal recreation where they had a working Portal gun. I don't think it was really any puzzles. It was just kind of showing off that they'd done it. There was a Mario one, which all seemed kind of fine. The background wasn't there, I think. Like it didn't have like the pretty cloud
2D Mario
or anything like that. Yeah, 2D Mario, sorry, not a 3D Mario. And then also at the end where they jumped on the flag, it didn't have like an auto animation to make Mario run inside the building. You could just do that yourself. So a couple things.
They haven't figured it out yet. It's still...
Yeah. There's a Cuphead one.
Cuphead was
weird. Yeah, it's not
because that
Cuphead
was 3D
recreation. This is the 3D Cuphead, yes, where they're running around and shooting. But it's got the sound right. It's got the character models look right, I guess, considering we haven't seen them in 3D in the game. So they looked kind of weird, freaky a little bit. But they was running around shooting things with their little handgun, and it was making the sound. So you can play Cuphead on PlayStation 4 finally. For all you people that have been waiting for it, just have to buy drinks.
Not worth the wait.
Worth every wait. Someone did like a Clank puzzle game thing, which is kind of like from Ratchet and Clank, 2, 3 onwards, where you do all these puzzle sections as Clank.
Yeah, the PS3 ones.
Yeah. So they've just done a whole bunch where you in those you play as Clank and you team up with other Clank robots, and then you can switch between controlling them and stand on buttons and stuff to pull off puzzles. And someone had done that. The character model looked decent, not obviously perfect, a little bit too rectangle, not more designed better, I suppose. But having not tried out Dreams, I am wondering, because a lot of the character models are very like basic shapes designed and not very like drawn, I suppose is the way to describe it. It makes me wonder if these people are just creating the character models with like preset shapes in the game, and that's how they're going about it. Because we do know you can sculpt stuff, and that's where like the PS Move controllers come into it and these sorts of things. But it does seem with a lot of the character models that I've seen in videos, they are just all built with basic shapes, circles, squares, rectangles, these sorts of things, more so than people free drawing their own characters. Although apparently PS Move controllers have sold out in a lot of places at the moment around America, so, and everyone's putting the blame on Dreams at the moment, so that's potentially a thing. Then someone did a Flappy Bird recreation, in case you didn't keep your iPhone that had that game on it installed, or maybe you did and you sold it on eBay for $99 or $999,000 or whatever people were trying to sell those iPhones that had Flappy Bird on it. But fuck that shit now. You rip someone off, you can play it on Dreams. It's where all dreams come true, like Flappy Bird. It goes full circle. Flappy Bird was built by stealing Mario elements to make their game, and now someone is just recreating and stealing their game to recreate it in Dreams. Someone did a Leisure Suit Larry, which looked pretty good. Like the character models and everything in this one actually looked pretty spot on from the game, I thought, more so than any of the other ones in this video. They actually looked pretty legit. Apparently it was just the first level or like hotel section or whatever from classic Leisure Suit Larry. Someone did Final Fantasy VII, a video, like the Dark Souls one, kind of just floats around and shows the church. They had a Cloud model and an Aerith model, I think, there. Just showing around in Aerith's church, so that was kind of cool. And that's also, of course, the interesting thing with Dreams is it isn't just, it's games, but they have talked about before, short films, full-on films, character animations, whatever you want to do. Someone did PT, which I found out that I don't know if someone like I presume at this stage a lot of people have recreated PT, some better than others. But I found in the video I was watching, not this one, but another one where someone was like live streaming and playing a bunch of like the most popular creations on Dreams. Kind of, and it looked, that section kind of looked like how it did in Little Big Planet. It's just like, hey, here's what's popular at the moment, or blah, 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 which Media Molecule I've talked about before, like will, rotate weekly or whatever. So it's not just the same stuff sticking to your recommended section each week in, week out. But the PT demo wasn't even titled PT. It was titled like something else. And then when people clicked in it to play it, it like loads up and then all of a sudden you're playing PT. So it just freaked a bunch of people out because they're like, oh, I wonder what insert game title is, and they click on it like, oh, this sounds intriguing by the description, and then it starts up and it's PT. So kind of a troll recreation of PT, including the trollish description and everything that PT was known for. And the PT looked really, really good. A lot of people have seen this one at this stage. I think this was the most popular one that went around on Twitter, I think, out of all the ones I saw, and was the one that was getting the most traction and talk about because it's PT, I suppose, has a history, has something of a legacy. A lot of people still love that and wish it had actually been a thing. A lot of people won't ever sell their PlayStations to keep PT around, but I watched someone play through the full thing because I'd only ever seen that Twitter video, which is like 2 minutes or whatever. But I watched someone play through the full thing and it just looks like PT. Like if you didn't tell me it was Dreams, I would believe it's just PT. It is spot on. Absolutely spot on, which is crazy. And then the last one in the video was an old school Wolfenstein, like first Wolfenstein game, and level wasn't fully complete, but the gun and everything, it looked old school enough, and the UI on screen looked cool. So yeah. What were some of your thoughts though watching these sorts of things? Any standouts? Any thoughts?
Obviously, there's the obvious concern that everything is kind of licensed stuff. How much can they get away with that stuff? I'm sure any user-generated stuff, any character creation thing, there's always going to be an element of using licensed properties. But I guess if you're making games for these sort of things, what's the legal line? I guess it'll be something that will be definitely explored in the foreseeable future. I think it's cool. I think obviously there's been a massive amount of buzz now about Dreams. We don't have a release date yet though, do we?
No.
Sometime
soon. And by soon I mean this year.
This year. Surely it's got to be. So yeah, I guess it's just waiting till then. How do you feel about all the people complaining about not getting in the beta? Because I think they've got a little bit of a legitimate grievance where Media Molecule came out and said everyone who was eligible would be able to get into the beta who applied. And there seems to be a lot of people who don't seem to have any issues but didn't get in. Do you think there's going to be any blowback, or do you think it's just one of those things where...
This was all after the NDA lifted, right? And everyone all of a sudden wanted to take part in it. Yeah, well, at that stage, it was kind of too late.
There's a lot of people who signed up day one who didn't get in.
Yeah, well, it's a beta. They don't have to. They could let fucking 5 people in, and it would be within their right, So no one's paying to get into this. It's not a pre-order bonus.
Media Molecule said everybody, which I think everybody is sort of the people who missed out. I get like jumping on that word.
Well, just too bad,
Yeah. Well, that's my opinion as well, to a certain extent. I mean, you come off as super entitled. That I'm sure that the problem was that more people were trying to get in than the Media Molecule were expecting.
Yeah, which would make sense given basically no one fucking cared about this game until 10 minutes ago, basically.
Yeah.
Years and years this game's been around. This game was at the PS4 reveal event.
Yeah.
This is how old this game is. It's 6 years, nearly 6 years old with the PS4 basically in in the terms of talking about how long we've been hearing about it and different forms of it. And basically no one gave two shits until all this stuff started coming out about the NDA and what was actually going to be part of it, you know? And for the most part over the years, whenever I've had to talk about this game to people, and I've always had an optimistic mind of, no, I reckon it could be, you know, really cool. Like, I've always thought the potential of Dreams outweighs its lack of kind of showing anything, really, I suppose. I always thought that if they can pull off what they're talking about, and I have faith because it's Media Molecule and they're a great company, and look at all the stuff they've done in the past, then I've always thought, you know, Dreams could come out and it could be this really big thing. And I still stand by that. But of course, over the years, whenever I've talked about Dreams or seen people talk about Dreams online or talk to Dreams with people online, it's always just Dreams has been Sony's like dog, the dead horse that people have been fucking kicking with jokes.
It's been the new
years now.
It's been the new Last Guardian.
Basically, yeah. And yeah, so when all of a sudden people start seeing all the cool stuff that's coming out of it and being like, fuck, I want to have a go at that. And then Media Molecule's estimates of how many people would actually be interested in their beta are quadrupled 10 million times over, or whatever happened, you know, then yeah, I think they can just simply be like, there's way more people interested in this than we had thought, because you have been talking shit on us for years, so we really didn't expect this many people to have interest. I think that makes sense. That makes perfect sense to me. But yeah, I'm glad that it had a really good beta, and because I think it's come to an end now, or coming to an end like very soon. I know it was very soon because I saw a tweet yesterday as of recording, or last night at some point, I think, where they were saying, you know, make sure you upload your levels to the cloud, basically the server, and they'll save them, and you'll be able to go back to them and whatever else when the actual game comes out. But if you only save the file on your console, then it's not going to be compatible with the actual full game. So yeah, but that's another thing that's cool about it is a beta, but it's not a wipe. It's like, hey, all this stuff that you're actually working on. And I think that's why a lot of people were experimenting and going ham, is because they were like, well, we'll be able to continue working on this when the full game's out. We're not going to lose any progress. There was I didn't bring the full story up because I didn't know how much there was to really talk about in relation to it, but I know there was a story about a bunch of people have already got together in Dreams, like met up together, you know, as we was talking about before, you know, people that are good at certain aspects and stuff, and they've got a title for basically what would be their Dreams development studio, and they've started creating an IP in the game, and it's a third-person horror game or something like that, and have released screenshots of what they've done, and it looks fucking really cool. And they're basically being like, yeah, we're just going to be working on this for the foreseeable future, you know, hopefully get some more people interested, and our Dream studio name is this or whatever. I'm like, well, it's already happened. Here we are. So there's already Dreams development teams sprouting up out of the beta, and maybe they'll make a game in Dreams, and then they'll actually make themselves into a studio. I don't know. All these weird and interesting things. But yeah, Dreams had a really good beta. I'm happy. Any
yeah. When do you think we hear about a release date?
Not for month plus.
Yeah.
I think we could potentially hear about one maybe April.
I mean, they could do one in the next week, or you just do like a showreel of all the cool stuff people have released and go, bam, here's the release date. That would be a cool reveal.
Best case scenario, that could happen. My thinking is they're going to take all the stats and feedback and what analytics that they've got from the beta, probably go over that for several weeks to get what they can out of that. And then maybe if everything's looking pretty good and there's not much more they need to do, then yeah, maybe the end of March or towards Aprilish, they can actually say, hey, the game will be coming out around this time. You know, I think it just depends on how well the beta went on their end, and how, like, for what they would perceive as being ready for the release. Because I think it's very easy to look at everything we've seen coming out of it and be like, well, surely it's ready. Surely it's good to go. And then it would be the same as for anyone that's been creating the levels, and they could look at it and be like, well, I fucking created, look at what I created. The game seems good to me. What else could you need to do? But we don't really know what Media Molecules set their standard as for release. And if there's some more
and
features
there could be
they
back
want
end stuff that they've seen
that we don't
problems.
know about. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
exactly.
oh shit, people lose their files if this thing happens.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't know about any of that. So as much as it looks like it could be good to go, and as they may want to change things with the way levels are presented, little things like to do with the whole how you play them and how, what's recommended to you if that's how you're going through the game. Because of course there's 2 player bases and there'll be a player base that's a mixture, but there's going to be 2 very distinct player bases. I'm going to be in one of them, which is show me your cool shit I want to play and watch and whatever your cool shit. And then there's the other side of I'm here to create stuff. And the beta was basically all about creating stuff. And I don't feel like, even though you could play stuff, a lot of it was about curation and all that sort of side on the server side and how they're going to promote people well and be able to connect people with other people who work together and all these sorts of things. So you got to take all that into account. That's cool though. Dreams is coming this year for sure. Don't forget, they did make that beta date before the end of last year. So they're not liars. If they if they say it's coming this year, it'll come out the 31st of December is when I believe Dreams will be releasing. All right, let's quickly go over hashtag every trophy counts. The only thing I quickly wanted to go over was Kingdom Hearts 3, which from all accounts, and I've seen a bunch of people have already got the platinum, is
what?
A decently easy platinum. It apparently only takes you between 50 to 60 hours to do, which is actually kind of relatively short, especially for a RPG game. I suppose like 50, 60 hours, you're like, yeah, like that's up there with like some open world games and stuff like that. Most games like Square Enix games or RPGs and stuff, JRPGs, you'd expect 100 to 200 hours or so, but this is definitely on the short side, and compared to other Kingdom Hearts games, it's way easier. Nothing that's missable. Doesn't require more than one playthrough. Don't need to play on like a hard difficulty. Don't need to speed run the game. None of this sort of stuff. You have to bunch of collectible stuff, sure, but other than that, that's just a grind, I guess, to a degree, and following a walkthrough to help you find all the hidden Mickeys and these sorts of things and all the chests in the world. But that's just a guide. And then other than that, you got to collect up a bunch of ingredients and whatever else and stuff from worlds. But yeah, that's just going to be a grind, and it will be a combination of luck to see if you get what you need faster. So seems achievable. I'll probably be going for it. Doesn't seem like it's too hard, and it's I think it's just hard to put into context when you and I are both playing it, and at around 10 hours, I guess you're around where I am now, like roughly 10-ish hours, and it's like seems ages away from it's like it seems ages away from finishing the game, but then like getting the plat afterwards. So it's like people saying 50 to 60 hours. It's like I'm 10 hours in. I'm fucking the end seems forever away still. So how's this seem possible? But from what I've read, once you finish the game and do certain things, it's following a guide, bit of grinding here and there.
I'm sure it'll be easier once people put guides out.
People already put them out, so if you want a break from the actual storyline and want to go back to a world you've already done to collect stuff, choice is yours, Ashley.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us this week on Platinum Explosion. You can follow me on Twitter at Vivaladil, VIVALADIL. Where can people follow you, Ash?
You can follow me on Twitter at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHOBLEY.
Follow the show on Twitter at Plat Podcast. Don't forget to rate the show on Apple Podcasts if you can. Word of mouth, retweet it, do these other things if you don't want to just rate it. Please. Then you can join our Discord over at explosionnetwork.com/Discord to talk Kingdom Hearts, Dreams, which we haven't played, but you can talk to us about it, and all these other sorts of things. And this is, of course, a product of the Explosion Network, of which you can find many more shows, articles, news, reviews, and much more at explosionnetwork.com. Follow Explosion Network on Twitter at ExplosionPod. And until next week, I hope all your dreams come true.
And by dreams, we mean release date.
Exactly.